Or I believe blue-green infrastructure is a creative discipline, a bit like architecture, which is, it's a creative discipline, but it is supported by engineering. I think the same is true of blue-green infrastructure, and that the best results come when the design is led by placemaking, by people, amenity, play, wildlife, by those objectives. And the engineering aspect is just woven in as part of the design process, rather than focusing just on the hydraulics and then trying to fit all of that around that.
The main message of my presentation was to remember to make real habitats for wildlife, really meaningful habitats for creatures to live in. And we talk a lot about blue-green infrastructure being for wildlife, but sometimes we don't really mean it. And my presentation was to remind people to really think about the creatures that live in their blue-green infrastructure. Runoff from really busy urban surfaces and polluted urban surfaces is really polluted, and it's got toxins and poisons in it. So I've been talking a lot today to people about making sure that you capture those toxins before you put your runoff into your blue-green infrastructure. So have some sort of treatment device, a sedimentation device or a filtration device, and then put the water into the blue-green infrastructure, and then you're not poisoning the habitat that you've built. Because it's not fair to create a habitat for wildlife and then put poisons into it. The topic of blue-green infrastructure should shift very much to being a requirement rather than a nice to have. We've got to do this. We can't just keep talking about it. So I want to see a shift to doing easy, relatively easy, but really, really effective and valuable blue-green infrastructure that works for everybody and everything. Globally, we've all got to do it, and we've all got to learn from each other.
I think what's really important, and I think I covered in my presentation, what's missing in the UK is that the rules that we have which govern how people design SUDs are really not fit to deliver the objectives that we want to get. And I think that's really important, that the rules such that we make design of blue-green infrastructure as accessible to as many people and as easy to deliver as possible, rather than making it into a very difficult technical exercise that then only a minority of people with very expensive software can actually deliver on. It's much better to get more blue-green infrastructure in our cities as quickly as possible than focus on minutiae of modelling detail.
We have to learn to work together to make better solutions, to work better with other disciplines like landscape architects, city planners, urban planners, and also street design, street planners, to make good solutions for blue-green infrastructure. And we have to have good recommendations for guidelines for what are the boundary conditions for runoff reduction and keeping water balance on new construction sites.